welcome back to another episode of Yugo Tube. Today we're going to do a walk around on the Yugo and let you know some of the neat quirks and features that this thing has to offer that you may not have known about. Stay tuned. So what we'll do is we'll just kind of start on the outside and just work our way around so that you guys can understand what a Yugo really is. So some people tend to say that they're an ugly car, but based on the actual shape of the car, it looks an awful lot like a Volkswagen Rabbit or Golf in the early days, and it shares a lot of similarities as far as the size and the way it looks. So those Volkswagen Rabbits were very popular back in the day, and well, these were for a little bit. Their sales peaked, I think somebody said, around 100,000 in 1 year. I don't know if that's right or not. Fact check me, boys. Anyways, it does have the bumpers that stick out quite a bit. I mean, they're bumpers. They're meant to bump. And wouldn't you sooner just have it come back in and, you know, just bump a little bit instead of tear your fender off? Well, it's probably gonna do that anyway because there is a bolt right down there attached to the side of the fender. We come along to the other side or the other end, and yes, we got the trailer hitch sticking out there and a great big long bumper. So again, as I said in a previous video, I think I am going to remove these bumpers and get rid of those brackets, kind of trim it down and make it look a little more sporty, maybe. I don't know. A couple people have asked what the little square tube is for underneath the car here. Well, that's where your jack goes. The jack is set up, which is underneath the hood, and I'll show you here in a minute. There's a piece of the jack that goes in there, and it's attached to the frame rail and the underside of the rocker panel, so that when you start jacking, it's the strongest part on the whole car. So it's a pretty neat rig. We'll show you once we get underneath the hood. I've already talked to you guys about the filler neck. We have found a hose, and we're going to get that gas tank back in likely today, but it may not be in this video. And as far as the door handles go, it's a really weird setup. Not something you generally see here in North America. North America, you just get the whole pull handle or a thumb handle. This one here, this piece here is what goes up, like so. It just kind of rolls in, opens up the door. But one thing I will say, these doors close very, very well. They're not like clunky, they're not light feeling. When you open them up, they swing open, the doors don't squeak, there's no, the hinges aren't rocking. Closes and latches every time. And we come to the back of this thing, and this is where the most annoying part of the exterior of the vehicle, I find, comes into play. Is you look down here and you say, oh, a button to push the trunk. Oh, no, it doesn't push. Why? Because it only works on a key. You got to have the key in your hand, which means, you know, if it's attached to the ignition, you got to take it off the ignition, bring it back here. This is 1987, guys. They should have had that figured out by now. And then it just opens up. It does have just a single hood prop on this side. I'm not sure if it's supposed to have two or not, but I don't see any brackets over here for 87. We do look in the trunk, and it's an awful mess here right now just because we've been tearing this panel apart over here to get the gas filler neck situation all looked after. But we do have a washer fluid reservoir over here for the rear windshield washer, which I find absolutely amazing for 1987 and for Yugo. These were generally a stripped down car. A little bit of surface rust peeling on this back part here, but still very, very solid. Not to mention the fact that it has a rear wiper as well. The backup lights we've talked about in a previous video, kind of odd looking, but you know, they were mandated for import into the US. And as we come around to the front, we see that the little hood scoop is gone. Well, I only took it off so I could buff the hood. But this is your air intake for the cabin air. So it goes down in there and basically is a collect-all for trash, like things like, oh, I don't know, pine needles and maybe water. I'm sure there's a drain there somewhere. But the actual vent that goes into the car is up out of the way a little bit. Spare tire is the biggest thing that when you pop the hood on these cars that you notice, like, why is the spare tire under the hood? Well, it was a space saver to put it under here because there was a little bit of room, but it didn't take up all the room in the back under the hatch. So that's why they chose to do it this way. Some people might say that it was even a safety feature to absorb impact upon a front end crash. I don't know if that's true or not, but sounded good to me. We take the spare tire out, and here is the jack that I told you about, and here is the rectangular or square rod that goes into that little hole right there on the side to jack up the car. One of the big things about, I've talked to you guys about doing a motor swap on this car. One of the things about it that takes up a lot of room in here is the brake booster, which is mounted way down low. Because the spare tire goes here, the firewall is way down. So your brake booster is mounted quite low in the engine compartment. Takes up a lot of room in here. So I don't know what we're gonna be able to do about that. Some guys have suggested a boxer engine out of a Subaru. I'm not sure exactly what we're gonna do as far as power plant in this thing yet, but we are going to do a timing belt. This is where your timing belt cover goes. No, I did not paint that red. It came red. Timing belt intervals on these cars are very, very short. I think 30,000-40,000 miles. So I don't know when this one was done last, because the car only has 57,000 miles. So we may be doing a timing belt on this. I shouldn't say we may. We will be doing a timing belt on this very soon, so we don't blow up that motor prematurely, because I'd like to blow it up my own way. And of course, because they were coming to North America, one of the things that they did with these cars was they smogged the crap out of them. Smog pump. We got vacuum lines all over the place, and that is one thing that I am going to do, is I am going to be going through this and ripping out the smog pump, the charcoal canister, and all the unnecessary vacuum lines in attempt to A, make it run a little better, make it free up a little bit of power. I know these didn't have a lot to begin with, maybe I think 50 or 57 horsepower or some stupid thing, but we're gonna be doing a tune-up on it and oil change and all that stuff when we do the timing belt anyway. This car does have aftermarket installed air conditioning, and there's a tag that would have had all the information when it was done. You got a small radiator here, and you've got a condenser in there as well, and there's your fan for your condenser. And there's your receiver dryer, and way down at the bottom is the AC compressor. It currently does not work. It runs on R12, so we'll have to figure out a way to make sure the R12 is evacuated out of it, and maybe we'll do a retrofit kit like we did on Project Dale to get some 134 in there, see if that AC system's going to work. Let's jump into the interior and take a look at some of the oddities in there. So the first thing we notice is the very simple layout of everything. You've got a couple of switches over here, your rear window defrost, wipers, hazard lights, your fan. So if this car did not come with AC, you had a fan control here, and you had your heat and your high and low here. You've also got your headlights on the steering column. You've got your turn signal as well as your high and low beams switch right here. And then on this side, you've got your actual wiper control. So that turns the wipers on, and this controls it. Dash is very, very simple. I admire the 110 mile an hour speedo. I doubt this thing would ever do that. We'd be lucky if this thing saw 70. But there you have the 57,000 original miles. Over here on the gauge package, you've got a bunch of lights and a gas gauge. That's it. And then as we come down here, this is the aftermarket portion of the AC where everything gets installed. So I run the AC, or you would, separately than you would the non-AC version part of the car. So basically when you turn the air conditioning on, all you're getting is the cold air coming out of these two vents here and these two down here. Nothing here. It's really weird. You do have an ashtray here. This one does not look like it's been used, maybe for some change. No glove box, but you do have a nice, a little kind of a catch-all right up here. I don't know what that thing is supposed to be. It's attached to the door, or the kick panel there. No clue. If you guys know what that thing is, go ahead and leave your comments down in the comment section down below and tell me what you think it is. Maybe some sort of a mini fire extinguisher? I don't know. It does have both passenger and driver side rear view mirrors. Normally, I believe in Europe they may have only had one, but for North America, you needed two. It's also got some holy crap handles, front and back, and a very, very basic door panel or door card design. Speakers in the front as well as there's some in the back, and just a very, very basic door pull. So then the idea is to unlatch it here, and then just kind of push it open with your arm. Crank windows. I don't think they had power windows on these things. I'm not even sure if they had them in the later years. Emergency brake that does work. Very, very, very sloppy shifter. But you got a vanity mirror. So the other neat thing that I wanted to point out was the versatility of the seats and how you can move them. So they do slide back and forth this way. You've also got, you know, to be able to angle the back forward and back so that you can get comfortable. But the ease of entry into the back seat of these things is amazing. It's one little switch right here. That unlocks that, and the whole seat goes forward to give you quite a big step through area to get to that back seat. Is there a lot of room back there? For small kids maybe, but there's a lot of vehicles today that are the same way. But again, a very versatile seat, and the fact that I'm 6'2", I can hop into this car and feel like I have, you know, plenty of room. I'm not feeling cramped. I mean, this is a subcompact car from 30 years ago. And we've also got map pockets, and well, hey, what do you have? Maps. So for those of you who are 20 years old or younger, this is how you found your way around. A map. You didn't have Google, you didn't have Siri. Anyways, pretty neat. So because this thing is not street legal yet, I can't very well take it out on the road. Yes, I could throw a dealer tag on it and take it for a spin, but I want to make sure we get that timing belt. I've got some new brakes for the front as well. Get that stuff looked after so that it's at least a little bit safe. And then we'll take you for a drive and see exactly what kind of power it has, how the handling is, stuff like that. So there is just a quick overview of what a Yugo is. So if you want to learn more about Yugos, then make sure you stay tuned to this channel. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for this Yugo build. We're not done yet. We're going to get her running the way she was meant to run, right from the factory. Then we're going to start tuning on her. See if we can't get some horsepowers out of this little 1.1 engine. Maybe a turbo? I don't know. That'll be the first step. Anyways, we're going to have some fun with it. Hope you stay tuned, guys. I appreciate you watching my videos. Go ahead and hit that like button. That tells YouTube I'm doing a pretty good job. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Stay focused on the windshield, not the rearview mirror. Love you guys. God bless. Let's do it again real soon. Every time. Doesn't want to start on its own. Push it in. Push it out. Good thing it's light.